What's up YouTube, I'm Vaughn and this is the Gear channel, and today we are hand testing with our Ogdoadic Mitsurugi deck. So let's shuffle the deck a few times just to really randomize it to see what we're starting with. But friendly reminder guys to hit that like and subscribe. One small click for you is the world to me. So our opening hand is a Nunu, Futsu, Regulus, Ogdoadic King, and Shadow Light. If you're not familiar with this card, it's quite good. You target a dark monster, you spell summon a light monster from your deck with the same level and type. Now with the new Mitsurugi smaller guys or even the bigger guys you could use it on, they're all dark reptiles, so it's perfect, and it has a grave effect which you could use on the same turn of activating both these effects, which is you could banish it from the graveyard to get additional normal summon for light or dark monsters. The only draw is that you cannot conduct your battle phase the same turn you activate either of these effects, which is fine because even going second, it's a really good card because your opponent would need 2 interruptions just to stop this card fully. And just because you are going second, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to win on that turn. So establishing like board wipes and doing some hand loops would be more than enough to actually win the whole game. So this is why I'm like, it's very important to have cards like this, and this is why Ogdoadic is so successful, is because a lot of these monsters, like Nunu as example, they have multiple effects, so your opponent is going to need not multiple interruptions just for one card. So how we're going to start this play is definitely with the Nunu. So we're going to go and send it to the graveyard to send a Zora. Then we're going to use Zora to send the King. We're going to add it to the hand. Now we're going to activate the Nunu. Now it's very important to activate the Nunu first in case of any type of interruption. It just really shows you what you're up against when you do this play first. Now we're going to summon the Zora. You shall like to target it. We're going to special summon Flow Ghost, which is very good, and the reason why it's so good is because if we're in a situation that we have something important in our hand to send to the graveyard, we have another alternative besides the Zora. From here, we are going to overlay for King of the Very Imp. We're going to go add Naya. Then we're going to use Naya's effect to go and send the Curse. And then we're going to use Curse effect to tribute the King of the Pharaoh Imp. And then Naya is going to be spell summon and trigger Naya as well to get Water Lily. So we're pretty good off the bat over here. Next, we're going to go and make another King of the Pharaoh Imp. And we're going to go and get the Sanji. Now we're going to go and use Shadow Light's Grave effect. We're going to banish it to the graveyard to get additional normal summon, and we're going to normal summon it, and now we're going to add the ritual. So now we're all set. We're going to activate the ritual, sending the Kusanji and then also the Night Serpent. So this is very important. You want Kusanji to be chain link 1 and Night Sword Serpent chain link 2 to chain block. So if they hit the Night Sword Serpent, non-issue, but you really want the ritual spell back into your hand. So we're going to spell summon the Night Sword Serpent, then we're going to add the ritual. Now we're going to overlay, make another King of the Pharaoh Imp, but this time we're going to add a Reptilian Cult. And the reason why we do that is because if we control Dark Reptile, we can spell summon it, and it's also a level 4 tuner, so we could do some spicy plays. So we're going to go and make some room. So we're going to go with the IP first, then we're going to use the ritual, and we're going to tribute the Futsu. So now Futsu is going to trigger. We're going to get the prayers and spell summon it. From here, we're going to use prayers to tribute the Ami, and then we're going to get a Kusanji, and then we're going to special summon. So there we go. So we're just getting an extra body. We are supposed to take 800 life points, but it's okay. We're just doing a hand testing for it. So, but in real gameplay, definitely remember to reduce the 800 life points. Okay, so now we're going to go and Ami's effect to get the purification and then spell summon him. Now we're going to use the Water Lily, and from here we're already good because like if they did do Nibiru on us, and ideally your opponent would want to do Nibiru in this type of situation because we use both of the monsters tributing effects, so that would be a good choking point to actually hit. But we do have Flow Ghost to send the trap, so we could actually extend a lot more steal, and especially with the token, we could do a lot of cool plays with it. So that's why I'm like, it's very hard to lose to like Nib because it's very like tight openings that they have the opportunity to actually nib you, and it would be very impactful. So from here, we're actually going to go send the queen, then bring the Zora. Now we're going to go and make our Springus, and then make our champion, and we're going to add for the Empress. So field spell to deck thin, and then the Empress is now into our hand. Now from here, we're actually going to go and use the king because we need that extra space. So we're going to go and do that. Now we're going to use the Empress to go and equip the Zora. And we're going to use the Ogdoadic Queen to go and tribute the Ami and also the Empress. Zora is now going to be triggered because it was sent from the field to the graveyard. So we're going to go and add the Overlord. So it's just an alternative options if we need it. Then we're going to go and send it to the graveyard. We're going to trigger king, and no matter what, queen will trigger because Zora, if they send a monster with Zora or king, we're going to trigger like queen regardless. So now we're going to go and spell some Zora, and next, the best play for us to do is actually to supposed to summon the Reptilian Cold, since we do actually control multiple dark reptiles. So we're going to go and make Omega. Now, why we make Omega? Yes, we're going hand rip, so then it's going to be 2 cards. But Omega and King combos together, and how it works is quite simple. King sends a card random from the opponent's hand when they add a card. It does not matter where they add a card from. Returning a card to their hand is still considered as adding the card. Now, you can check this ruling. It works. So when we go and we use the Omega effect to go banish and rip, on the next standby phase, if we have a king on the field, when Omega comes back and their card is returned to their hand, king is going to trigger to send a card to their graveyard. So we don't even need the Zora anymore after that once we have Omega. So this is just beautiful. Now after that, we are going to use the Regulus. And also I do want to point out that like if you did decide to hold on to it, you could return the light, the shadow light to the graveyard as well on your opponent's standby phase. So now we're going to use Regulus effect to go and spell summon the Empress, and now we're going to make Titan Galaxy. Now the reason why we make him is because if our opponent wants to get rid of like the IP and they want to do a simple normal summon just to deal with 1 interruption, we have a very good monster that could block that attack, and we direct it to him. So if we're going on our opponent's turn, if they want to do that, we could just get rid of the king. And if we want other further plays besides of just negating with it, we could use IP, definitely use him to go and special summon SP. And this is very important because we just want the king back into the graveyard. Now, we do have other alternatives. We could use the trap for negating something like a Dark Ruler No More. We could also trigger the Futsu as well to add another purification. So it's an extra extender / negate if we need one. And we could go and start special summoning him. And if our opponent's supposed to summon it, we could go and do a board wipe as well. If any monster is sent to the graveyard, we could go and use king to we could use queen to supposed summon king as well. So we could have multiple bodies, use Regulus to negate, send himself as well. And then on a standby phase, since we do have the king, we could definitely return and then trigger the king to hand loop again. So it definitely builds quite a bit of floaters, and we have a bunch of follow-up as well. So we could do the curse, we could do the Naya play, we could do so much. If we want to summon the Overlord, we easily can, so it's not even an issue on that. So it definitely gives you and establishes like a very interactive board that just leads towards follow-up. So you're never really minusing, you're plussing a lot, and your graveyard is considered your hand in this deck, because look at that, we could use the trap just for a free spell summon as well. We do have already 2 free spell summons over there, so we're pretty much all set. And also you could use the Therion field spell as well. So, and that one is that if it goes and destroys a monster, you could go and add a Therion, so you could get Regulus back into hand. You could also get the Empress as well, and you'd be surprised, like a lot of people don't realize that you could actually abuse this card in other ways. So it's actually a very good field spell to have. And that's it for hand testing. If you guys want to see more hand testing, definitely comment it down below. If you guys want to see some matches, we're still waiting once we hit like 2,000 subscribers till we actually start taking this and start doing lots of ranked match duels. So definitely hit that like and subscribe. I'm Vaughn, and this was the Gear Channel.